Here at Telile 24/7, we're very, very proud of the people within our coverage area that are setting up and maintaining businesses. Some employ just a couple of people, some are self-employed, some employ dozens and even hundreds. Whatever the case may be, they all have one thing in common. They all put their own skin in the game and make their own investment to make sure that it happens. And they've all probably had some conversation with our next guest. She is the Executive Director of the Strait Area Chamber of Commerce, and we've brought her here to speak a little bit about how the Strait Area economy is doing these days. We're pleased to welcome Amanda Mombourquette to Telile 24/7. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you, Adam. Happy to be here.
Pleasure to have you here. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
So I wanted to begin by asking you about the services that any Chamber of Commerce, but in particular the Strait Area Chamber of Commerce, provide, just in case some of our viewers might not understand the concept of a Chamber of Commerce. So what do you folks do for the business community around here?
So I can tell you right off the bat, the Chamber of Commerce is an international brand. There are chambers of commerce that exist across the world. And so we're really proud to be part of that kind of a network. It's a network that's hundreds of years old and really stems from the need for businesses to kind of band together to achieve common goals. So in particular, our Chamber of Commerce, called the Strait Area Chamber, we have about 380 members right now. So we've pretty well doubled in size in the last couple of years, which is really great. And we have business members in Victoria County, Inverness County, many members in Richmond. About 25% of our membership is here in Richmond County, the town of Port Hawkesbury, and along the northern edge of the Strait of Canso. So Guysborough through to Mulgrave, Harbour Boucher area. And really what we try to bring to members, our value proposition to the business community, stems around 6 key areas. The first is, I would say, advocacy. So a lot of what we do is we advocate on matters of political, social, or economic importance to the business community. And you'll see our, Strait Area Chamber of Commerce speaking out on issues, on those matters from time to time. And really, when we do speak out, those issues are coming from our business members. And so that's part of a big part of what we do. And because we are a business membership-driven organization, we have the power to do that without fear of repercussion. So we really take our job as advocates seriously with government in particular. So in addition to that, we obviously do a pile of networking events. We've just come out of our inaugural FemPower Women Leading Change event, which was held in Bedeque and was really open to women all across northern Nova Scotia. We had a fantastic turnout, and probably one of my favorite things that we've ever done, because the energy in the room of all these women in business leadership positions, women in community leadership positions, they were just so excited to be able to share their stories together and hear from one another and get that feeling of we can help each other be better. So that was a really cool event. We have our annual State of the Strait coming up, which is a really cool snapshot of what's the business community looking like right now. So we have our keynote that we've announced recently was Glenn Williams from Authentic Seacoast, who does a fantastic, fantastic piece of business based out of Guysborough, but has branched out all over the place. We'll have an update from the folks at Ski Cape Smoky. So that's a really cool project. We'll have an update as well from a project here in Richmond County. So we really try to get a good geographic mix of projects from all over the region to give us the pulse of what's happening in the business community. In addition to those kinds of networking events, we have our annual awards galas in the spring and the fall. We were, really excited to be celebrating the Jack Hartery Lifetime Achievement Award in prior year with Norma and Herman Boudreau, and those are just meaningful. They're very meaningful presentations because there's nothing quite like being recognized by your peers for achieving success and integrity in business. So we're really excited about our AGM coming up and what that's going to result in terms of awards. So we're always asking people keep an eye out for nominations, because it's really important that we get a good broad spectrum of nominations. So obviously networking is a big part of what we do. We have a lot of smaller events that we do as well, series of events. We call them small halls, big ideas, and we'll take a particular topic or speaker on the road, and we'll hit Richmond County, we'll hit the town of Port Hawkesbury, we'll hit Victoria County, and we'll hit Inverness County with this really cool content. So we're all about bringing good information to our members. And of course, in addition to that, the Chamber works a lot on promotions for business. So we kind of are a bit of a referral network in amongst each other, And so when people are calling our office looking for, I need an electrician, or I need someone to do video work for me. And so we pull from our membership. And so it's really valuable being part of that kind of network. And so in addition to that, the Chamber of Commerce is unique in that it can offer discounts for businesses on really mission-critical things that they might need. So a lot of businesses struggle with employee retention and attraction, and so one of the things that we can help them with there is we have a group insurance plan that is a national Chambers plan in Canada with over 30,000 members in it, and as a result, it's a plan that allows businesses to offer a group insurance, a health insurance to their employees without it costing them exorbitant amounts of money, and also without them being subject to wild fluctuations year to year. So it's a really wonderful tool to help with that employee attraction retention piece.
So I'm really impressed with what the Chamber does,
Yeah.
both on a local level and, as you mentioned, on a national level
Right,
as well.
yeah.
And just want to isolate one thing you mentioned, talking about the Small Business Week Awards and about the Annual General Meeting Awards as well. You mentioned the Jack Hartery Lifetime Achievement Award. And just as a reminder for our viewers, I mean, Jack Hartery was involved at the highest levels at the former Stora Enso
Right.
mill, now of course Port Hawkesbury Paper. So why do you feel that he represents a great legacy and a great name to carry on for the winners of these Lifetime Achievement Awards?
Right. So, so Jack Hartery's reputation as a leader in the business community spanned the entire province, and when his name is mentioned, people associate him with this region's largest employer, and he was in large part responsible for the retrofit that in reality is probably the reason that we still have a highly functioning, efficient, responsible paper mill operating in this community, and so his legacy is one that we're benefiting from every day in our communities. And so years ago, the powers that be at the Chamber were wise enough to honor his memory and create a Lifetime Achievement Award in business in his name. And to this day, his wife Shirley continues to be a great champion of the Chamber, and we value her wisdom, and we have valued his legacy very much.
Well, I've noticed as well within these awards, it's not just business owners that get honored.
That's
because
right.
You folks have the Kevin Beaton Heart of the Community
That's
Award
right.
as well,
Yeah.
and celebrate as well people like volunteers, people who are involved in customer service.
That's right.
So, is it the Chamber's hope to be able to recognize not just those that are signing the checks and sitting in the front offices, but also those who are putting themselves out there to make our community better?
Absolutely. We have awards for outstanding customer service. We have awards for Rising Star New Businesses. We have awards for Safety Champion. If you know of someone who is taking safety very seriously and championing that in the workplace, then there's an opportunity to recognize them. So it's really about not just recognizing businesses, but also recognizing those individuals who help make our businesses stronger and better, right?
I wanted to pick up on an event that you mentioned just a couple of moments ago, the State of the Strait area, and that's happening on March the 11th at the Port Hawkesbury Civic Centre, a half-day event. I've been to a couple of these before. Without tipping your hat on anything that we might be hearing on that day, can you give us a sense of what you feel the state of the Strait area economy is? How is the business community doing locally?
Yeah, well, I think there are challenges. We've got a lot of industry in this region that are national and international in terms of their ownership and in terms of their reach. So there's global influences that are always going to be outside of our control that have an impact on industry here. One of of the things that we're kind of excited about with the Chamber and with our industry partners is the work we're doing on our port development file right now. We've got a marketing project underway that is really going to capture the essence and the value proposition that exists, particularly along the Strait of Canso within that 5-kilometer zone on either side. And that project is it's an industry-led project. It's part of an overall initiative to start to capitalize more effectively on what is our region's probably greatest asset, which is that deep-water ice-free port. But, in terms of the broader region across rural Cape Breton and northern Nova Scotia, we're seeing some really bright spots. If you look at the development that's happening in the village of Inverness, the commercial activity that's going on there, it's just phenomenal. And I will say, a lot of it being driven by women lately. I've been up there with the grand opening scissors on a number of occasions, and a lot of times you're going to see the faces of women in those pictures. There just seems to be an interest in small businesses starting up, and obviously a lot of it is driven by the fantastic success of Cabot Links, and when we look at the new Route 19 facility, it's just, there's some remarkable things happening in that small little community. And if you look at a place like St. Peter's as well, so much commercial activity being driven by festivals and experience planning, and they're shooting high there right now, and hoping to one day even see cruise ships coming into that National Historic Site. So we're really excited about the future. Driving through Arishat right now, when you look at the beautiful streetscape improvements that are going on, the lampposts there, and Destination Reeve Street in Port Hawkesbury, and these projects make a huge difference to the business community, because what it does is it sends a message that we're open for business and that we're ready for investment. And it's kudos to all of the organizations who are involved in making those things happen. It's really exciting to see.
And in addition to all those communities that a lot of our viewers are familiar with, the Strait Area Chamber of Commerce just had a new beginning by welcoming Victoria County into the mix. Can you tell us a little bit about how that all came about and why you folks are excited to have Victoria on board? Yeah,
well, we're more than excited. I mean, it's for many years we've had business members in Victoria County, and as a result, we've been trying to bring more and more content to that community. We just recently, as I mentioned, hosted FemPower there, but prior to that, we've partnered on initiatives like co-creating a healthy work environment with their home support services agency. We've held other women's leadership accessibility sessions there, and what's happening, I think, is a recognition that the Chamber is able to deliver value to these communities that are outside of our kind of main commercial center or main commercial region, and I think we're really pleased to be able to do that, and we're seeing that also in places like Inverness and Shetty Camp. So I think it's one of the reasons that our membership is growing so healthily. It's because we're making sure to get out of our office and beyond the four walls of the building to deliver really valuable programming. So it's really nice to see that Victoria County is on the upswing, and there's so much potential in that region for development. It's really exciting.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. I wanted to ask you about the evolution of the business community in the Strait of Canso, and the sense I've gotten over the years is that, as opposed to, say, the 80s and the early 90s, when the region might have been hoping for the next big mega project to come around, or for the next big franchise to come in and set out an outlet in Port Hawkesbury or in Richmond County. It seems that more individual business owners are saying, you know what, we're not going to wait for that. We're going to make our own investment. We're going to employ people, and we're going to get started and contribute to the business community that way. Do you get the sense that that's been the case in the 5 years that you've been the executive director for the Chamber?
Well, certainly I get the sense that optimism is building. You can see it in the investments that are being made. You can hear it in the way that people are talking about their businesses. There's no question there's still huge opportunity for mega projects to be landing here, and that is something that we will always support and continue to encourage, and continue to encourage government also to support. But like you say, in the meantime, there are other opportunities that have come to the forefront. Our tourism, economy continues to be on the upswing, and certainly I see that as a huge opportunity here in Richmond County in particular. But all across northern Nova Scotia, there are more and more people who are recognizing that entrepreneurship and business ownership and investment is a viable option for them in terms of making a living here, making a good living here.
Now, I did want to ask this question. This is a bittersweet time for you as the Executive Director of the Strait Area Chamber of Commerce, because those days are starting to wind down, and you've accepted a new position with the Nova Scotia Community College. Can you tell us a little bit about what exactly you'll be doing and why you're excited to be starting over at this operation that has meant so much to the Strait and to the province in general?
Right. It is definitely a bittersweet moment. The Chamber is a really great place to be. I love the fact that it is not government run. It's an independent association of businesses, and there's so much power and strength in numbers, and it's a really important organization. And I have had the great pleasure of meeting so many people from across all of Cape Breton Island and the northern mainland of Nova Scotia, really amazing people who are making a difference every day in their communities, who are employing people, like you said, whether it's 2 people, whether it's 20 people, and a lot of them have become my friends, so I will be forever grateful for that. I'll take those relationships and I'll keep them close to me for forever. But yeah, no, an opportunity has come up with the community college, which is a fantastic organization, and so I'll be kind of working between both of those campuses on Cape Breton Island, both Marconi and the Strait Area campus, and I'll be working with businesses to help develop solutions, to meet their training needs and skills development, related to skills development. So it's an exciting thing for me to be able to take that experience of the Chamber and those relationships and the knowledge that I have of those businesses now, and bring that with me to the community college to make even greater impact. So I'm really excited about it. The community college, particularly in this region, it's an exciting place to be. Cape Breton Island is fortunate to be home to the Nautical Institute. The Strait Area campus has probably some 700 students attending. There's so much opportunity for growth there, and just fantastic programming, fantastic equipment, and the Marconi campus, obviously, facing this wonderful opportunity of the move to the waterfront. It's just a really exciting time to be coming on board with the Nova Scotia Community College. So I feel very fortunate.
Well, it's wonderful to see you getting this opportunity. And just to wrap up, you've talked a little bit about some of the relationships you've been able to develop with business owners and with the general business community all over the region, businesses of every size, large, small, and medium. What do you think you will actually miss the most about not being as directly involved with the Chamber as you are right now? What do you take away from that experience?
I think the thing I'll miss the most are the everyday conversations with businesses that are they're calling looking for either a solution to a challenge they're facing, or to bounce an idea off. I will miss that day in, day out kind of connection, but I'm not convinced I'm not gonna still have it, because I'll just find another way to get to that, right? So the conversations will be just maybe different, but I think the team at the Chamber too, and the partnerships that we've developed, it's going to be definitely something that I miss, but I'm just really lucky to be able to still tap into that team and in this new role. So they're not rid of me that easily.
Well, I hope they're not going to be rid of you that easily. We have really appreciated your work on behalf of the business community in this region, and
thank you.
We've really appreciated you coming in today to talk a bit about what this has all meant to you and looking to the future, both to yourself and for the business community. So thank you so much for joining us on Telile 24/7.
Thank you.
All right, it's my pleasure.